Hello, everybody, and welcome. Paulina Brown here, the Biz Fairy Godmother, and I am with my amazing business partner, Susan Kate. She is a business and systems strategist, and I am a messaging, copywriting, storytelling, and PR genius, if I do say so myself. And we are, right? and and we make up the team M4 Business Mastery. And today we really want to talk to you guys about taking radical responsibility for your results in your business, what that looks like, how you can do it, and how to know if you're off track. How to know if you're not really doing it, because we've definitely been on both ends of this equation. And so we really wanted to bring this to you to give you guys some practical tips that you can implement in your business today so that you can start shifting as quickly as possible.
Cool. So you know what? I will start by telling the story of kind of how it manifested in my life, and then I will hand it back to you to tell your story and give them our secret sauce hints.
Perfect.
So if you don't know my story, I kind of started really studying online business in about 2008, 9, 10. I started with Tony Robbins and Brendon Burchard. So basically, when I wanted to build an online business, I had gone to Tony Robbins to kind of shift my thinking after my divorce. And I had gone to Brendon Burchard called Experts Academy to really learn how to build a business, okay? And so at that event, I was offered a spot in his inner circle. And I thought that I could do it on my own, right? So I looked at the price tag. I believe it was like $30,000 at that time. And I just thought, nah, you know what? I can figure this out. I can do this on my own. And I said no. Okay, well, over 50 courses later, at an average price tag of $2,000 a course, I kind of figured out that, there was a lot to be said about getting private coaching and about accountability and about getting help and whatnot. Okay, so and I know a lot of you are on this path. Okay, so you guys go down this road and you get some private coaching or you get some help. Okay, and then when it does not work out, I see a ginormous problem in the industry where people are blaming other people for their lack of results. If something doesn't work out the way that they want, I see a lot of blaming the husband. I see a lot of blaming the children. I see a lot of excuses like we spoke about earlier. And I see a lot of blaming the coach. Okay, now we are going to make an assumption that the coach that you hired is competent. Okay, but even in that, you need to take responsibility. If you hired a coach who just became a coach yesterday and is out there telling you that they're an expert, you again are responsible for that, for not doing your due diligence, okay? But let's assume that the coach is competent. People succeed on different timelines, okay? So what may take somebody else 3 months, then it looks like they did it in 3 months. You don't know what they did before then, okay? So this goes back to, I see a lot of the blaming, and I want to tell you my story with that. When I went to the Brendon Burchard event in, I believe it was like 2010 or 11, there were probably about 200 people in that room. It was a smaller event. He had just gotten started, okay? We all got the same exact info. All of us in that room got the same exact info, okay? I was in a little circle of coaches. I got really lucky that the people sitting around me were amazing, and they were all coaches. The inner circle that I was sitting around at that event got the same information that I got, okay? The majority of those people that I went to that event with are now 7 figures, multi 7 figures, okay? I actually did not get amazing results in my business, in my online business, until 2015. 2015 is when my online coaching business skyrocketed, okay? I wasn't sitting around blaming Brendon Burchard for my lack of results. That was on me. There were people that took that exact info and did something with it. They just chose a different path. A lot of them implemented faster than I did, okay? But this is what I see going on in the industry. I see 2 people getting the exact same information, and one person gets results and one person doesn't. And they come from totally different backgrounds and they have totally different circumstances, and yet they're comparing. One person blames the coach, okay? And I'm seeing it more and more and more in the industry as more people pretend to be experts, which is another topic entirely, okay? But the bottom line is that taking radical responsibility for the results that you generate is one of those things that, whether it works out the way you want it to, or it doesn't work out the way you want it to, you still have to come to the moment of truth where you realize you are the only person responsible for that. Now, you either take responsibility in the fact that you hired the wrong person and you accept that mistake and you move on, or you hired the right person and the information just isn't ready yet, or your success just isn't there yet, okay? Either way, the responsibility for your results is 100% on you. And when you fully take that on board, something will happen. You will see an amazing shift. In fact, my life did not take off until I took 100% responsibility for everything that happened in my life, whether it was the way somebody treated me. I chose not to be a victim. I chose not to say like, oh, that person did that to me. I took responsibility for that. Maybe I stayed in that friendship a little bit too long. And we're not talking about yelling. We're talking about I was violently assaulted, and I still took responsibility for that relationship, and I took responsibility for that attack, and I moved through it, and I moved on. So this is personal accountability and personal responsibility for your results, whether they're personal or business, is huge. And it is one of the biggest indicators of people who are successful. If you look at anybody who's successful, they are not sitting around blaming anybody else.
No.
Okay. Even if they got robbed, even if they went bankrupt, even if they faced ginormous odds, they all say this happened and this is what I did about it. You never hear them blaming anybody else. Okay. So, Polly, I will let you go and tell your story and give our secret sauce for how we do it. But yep, again, guys, it's your responsibility to get results, whatever those results are. And guess what, guys? A lack of results is still results.
Yes.
Because either you win or you learn. You're
Absolutely.
getting results even if you don't see those results. Danny said, yep, absolutely. Hi, Danny.
I love Danny.
I love that picture of her. She always looks like she's up to something, like she, right? Like the way that the picture is kind of, she's like, I can see you.
Mm-hmm. And she can. That's the best part. So what I really want to talk to you guys about is this idea of being responsible. And I know that so many of you guys are probably sitting there like I was when I first was introduced to this concept that no. I'm not necessarily responsible for everything that happens to me. And it's kind of a mindset shift that is important for you to get to success, because I'm going to give you some examples that really help me move through. So for example, if I said, man, I am just exhausted today. I had this person yelling at me and that person yelling at me and this person asking me for this, and I am pulled every which way and I am exhausted. You know who created that situation? I did. Because I allowed myself to be treated in a certain way. Or even if I didn't, I created some sort of situation where I would end up exhausted. So I either didn't get enough sleep, I didn't feed myself correctly, I didn't show up for myself the way I needed to, I wasn't working out, or I wasn't having proper boundaries in place so that when something negative did happen that was outside of myself, I didn't immediately remove myself from the situation. I gave energy to it, right? That's what we're talking about personal responsibility for your results. So if we get to the end of the month, right, and Sue and I go, we didn't make enough sales, right? If that were to happen, no one else is responsible for that other than me and Sue.
I'm not blaming Brendan Burchard. I'm not blaming my other coaches. And you know what, guys? I had 4 of the top coaches in the industry working with me at one point. Mm-hmm. At the same time. And when I did not get the results that I wanted, because we set goals, you better believe I was not blaming them.
And on top of that, we wouldn't even blame each other.
No.
Right? Because if, let's say, we noticed one or the other was slacking off, but we didn't say anything to make that change, responsibility, right? And if it was, like, for example, if it was me slacking off, I have to take that responsibility and say, you know what? I didn't do what I should. I knew I wasn't doing this. I knew I wasn't showing up. I knew that I took that day off for that Netflix binge. And then I'm going to look at the numbers and then I'm going to get mad and complain about something. No, 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 no. You want to take all that energy, because all that energy, right? We're not just talking about negative versus positive, right? Let's just leave that alone for right now. It's really about bringing that energy that you have, which is when you have a lot of negative energy, that's a lot of energy, right? And taking that and going, how can I use this to do better? How can I do this to keep this from happening again? Because if you stay in a space of making excuses or blaming, what ends up happening is you repel the solution. Yep. And that's what we're talking about, opening up to a solution that will revolutionize your business and your life.
Yeah, when you blame somebody else or something else, you're actually giving up control.
Yes. Right? And I love what Danny said. That would be like blaming my coach, Mass and Kip, for not getting results, not happening.
But Danny, we see it every day in this industry. We do. And Polly and I have zero tolerance for it. Okay. So here's the example that we use. A lot of times, like mindset coaches and business coaches will get blamed for lack of results. Okay. Now hear me out. Again, we're talking about competent coaches, which means they have gotten themselves and other people results.
Yes.
Okay? We're not talking about somebody who decided they were a coach 15 minutes ago, right? But what if they almost expect the dating coach and the mindset coach to do the work for them. But how does that work with like a dating coach? Mm-hmm. So the dating coach, helps you become a better version of yourself so that you can go out there and go out on a date with somebody. But, like I always say, and it's a little bit raw, but at some point you've got to sleep with him yourself. Mm-hmm. The coach can't do it for you. The health coach can't eat your food for you. Mm-hmm. The personal trainer cannot do your sit-ups for you. The treadmill isn't going to ride you. The business isn't going to build itself. And we're not building it for anybody, right? I know people that have worked with the top coaches in the world. And I'm talking like Tony Robbins and that level, like 8-figure coaches, and gotten zero results. And I know people that have worked with the worst coaches who literally just started their business a week ago, but they took radical responsibility and they worked through their problems and they've built massive businesses.
And let's take it one step further. Even if we were to do it for someone and handing it over to someone who does not take radical responsibility for their results, runs it into the ground. Whereas the person who does take responsibility, because it's a different perspective, they go way further. And what we're talking about is the mindset of, this is my business. So whatever happens in it is my responsibility. Yeah. So I'm not going to do the same things all the time, because if I'm not getting the results I want, I need to do something different. Right? And I'm not going to blame the husband, the children, the pets, the coaches, whomever it is, if I'm not seeing the results that I want. And that's the power of taking radical responsibility. Only you are in charge of your mind, your actions, your words, and your business.
And people misinterpret this. So let's think about it. Let's go back to something that most people can relate to. Well, what if I got attacked? Cool. I've gotten attacked. I did not take responsibility for their actions. I want to be clear. Like, I did not take responsibility that somebody decided to attack me. What I took responsibility for was, number one, was I put myself in that situation. I did, right? I did not ask to be attacked, but I was there. I made the decision to be there. What I took responsibility for was how I chose to go forward. That's what we're talking about. Not that this person attacked me and, oh my gosh, I'm a victim, but they did this to me, right? We're not saying that. They chose to attack. That's on them. But only I can decide how I'm going to go forward. So I took responsibility for my results, not their actions, and I moved forward. So if you're in a situation where, let's say, let's go back to the Brendon Burchard thing, okay? It was my responsibility to decide how I was going forward. And now looking back, I can easily see where I did not implement in the way that I should have implemented in, whatever it was that held me back. Mm-hmm. Right? But the fact is that the people who did implement got massive results. Mm-hmm. They did. Right? So I had to take responsibility for how I chose to go forward. Once I decided like, oh God, I'm not getting the results that I want, the responsibility starts right there. Mm-hmm. Okay? It starts right there when you realize, oh gosh, these results aren't what I was expecting. Cool. It's in that decision that your future is basically shaped. That's where you're taking responsibility, how you decide to move forward. So I hope that makes more sense.
Absolutely. And guys, if you guys have questions on this, definitely put those in the comments below. We always come back and answer them. So definitely let us know if you have questions going on. But the whole point and reason why we're talking about taking radical responsibility for your results in your business is because how often do you get to the end of the month and go, I didn't meet my numbers. I didn't meet my goals. And there's a feeling of one of two things predominantly, either that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm a failure, right? And you get down on yourself, or this feeling of, I'll get it next month, right? And I'm just going to pile forward and I'm going to do the same things I did last month.
Or
right?
This doesn't work.
Yeah. Or this doesn't work.
Unless you're trying to fly to the moon, right? You're trying to do something that nobody else has ever done. If it's ever worked for anybody else, it is possible for you too. Right?
Yes.
And it's your responsibility to figure out what that path is.
So that's why we put together the ultimate client enrollment checklist, because there are so many things that people are told, business owners are told that they need to have in place to enroll clients that they don't, right? So let's just talk about that for a hot second. You don't need a website. You don't need fancy pictures. You need good pictures, accurate pictures of who you are.
Professional photos. And this is coming from a professional photographer. I used
Absolutely.
to branding photos, and you don't need them to get started. I'm sorry, you don't.
No. And you don't need a funnel, and you don't need all of these other things. We could go on and on. We could probably list things off for like 15 minutes. But these are the things that hold people back because, oh, my copy's not perfect. Oh, my website's not ready. You don't need those to enroll clients. So what we wanted to do is help you take responsibility for enrolling clients into your programs and into your coaching by giving you a checklist that will show you exactly what you need. Yes. Everything on there is a need and everything else is gone, right? So that way you have access to something that will get you started right away. So if you would like that, go to m4businessmastery.com/ultimate checklist. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put that link above this video and also in the comment section. So if you have any questions about that, please let us know. We would love to help you. And likewise, if you are struggling with taking responsibility and going, I don't know where I can do better, let us know in the comments because you're not alone. Right? And we're here to support you. So let us know.
It's also your responsibility to find out how you can move forward, okay, with what you have right now.
Absolutely.
Okay. So there are people who come in with different levels of things that they have in place. It is 100% your responsibility to get the information on how you could move forward right now, today, with what you have in place instead of waiting for all of those things that you don't. It's your responsibility to put the focus on how far can I go with what I have in place? It's your responsibility to get that info, and it is your responsibility to implement it. And we're handing it to you. Okay? Yes. So, yes. Did Danny say something that you were?
Yes. She said, this is a no excuses zone. All that stuff people think they need, excuses for not showing up. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hands down. And that's exactly why we made this checklist, because it is all about taking responsibility for what it is that you're creating. And if you haven't been given the proper tools, that can be hard. So we wanted to create a simple, easy to use tool that you can use right now to get everything you need in place to start enrolling clients or enroll clients in a more efficient way.
Absolutely. So on that note, we'll
yes.
end it. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We will see you guys soon. If you liked this live stream or video, depending on where you're watching it, please share it with your friends. Click the subscribe button and the little bell icon to know when we upload new videos if you are watching this on YouTube. And if you are catching this on Facebook or LinkedIn, please subscribe for live notifications, and we will talk to you all very soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.